is night. If not, do understand and get that your night, your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. I hope my camera is all right. Because I know some of you guys said that one of my videos that I did, it wasn't catching up or something. So I hope this video is okay. Tonight, this is the second time that I received a download for me to do this video. In fact, yesterday I was supposed to do a video on this, but by the time I came home and cooked and everything like that, I didn't do the video. But it's from this book. Okay, Psycho Cybernetics. You guys always hear me talk about books. Okay, never thought that I would be one to be mentioning books and recommending books. Okay, but yes, I am that girl. Okay, all right. So, this book is. Let me tell you something. This is so funny because Matt, who revised Psycho Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, one of the things in the intro he talks about is whenever you read a good book, oftentimes you know where you are in life, right? You know where you was in life when you got that book. And it's so true, okay, especially with Psycho Cybernetics. So Psycho Cybernetics is pretty much is about self-image, okay? Dr. Maxwell Maltz, okay, who was a surgeon, he would do operations on his clients, okay? And some people he would notice, if they felt like they had like an ugly nose, or if they felt like their lips were, too big, or if they had like a scar on a face or something like that, he would do surgery on them. And sometimes he would notice that after he did the surgery, like they self-image, they would feel more confident. Others like this one guy, okay, who felt he had really enlarged ears. This guy, he was so scared to go out the house because his imagination, he started imagining that people was looking at him, people were talking about him. It got so bad that he would pretty much hide in his room. It got to the point where so he even thought that his family was talking about him. Okay. And his family had brought him to Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And Dr. Maxwell Maltz had spoke to him, did a session or whatever with him. And later on, the guy, he became like more confident. And one of the things that Dr. Maxwell Maltz said was that he noticed with some patients, in some cases, they didn't even need plastic surgery. What they needed was for them to change their imagination, right? Because they was using their imagination instead of using it constructively, they was using it destructively. Okay. And remember this, like our imagination is the most beautiful. I mean, it can be a beautiful thing, or you could use it to work against yourself, right? Whatever you tend to keep on imagining and get emotionally involved with those pictures that you create, okay, that's what turns into reality, okay, is the emotions behind it. Now, so when I was on a bus yesterday, it's so funny because I was on there and my intuition had told me to ask this young lady who she was a young girl, younger than me, probably like early 20s or so, probably could have been probably like 18. And she was sitting on a bus and she had a book bag. So I asked her if I could use her pen because my intuition was like, let me tell you something about the intuition, okay? Your intuition is going to have you do things at times where as though it may make you feel a little uncomfortable. Let me say that again. Your intuition is going to have you do things that at times make you feel a little uncomfortable. Let me see if I could get this. 1 second. The pen that the girl gave me. Okay, I'm back. So I wanted to get the pen and a marker. So yesterday, walk with me. Okay, is my camera good? Let me know in the comment section. Is my camera good? Okay, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Is my camera good? Okay, that's good. All right. So I'm on a bus, right? So walk with me. Now, normally when I go on a bus or a train, I always accompany a really good book. Okay. I stay with a good book. And when I'm on the bus or train, it's so funny because it's this book that Kevin Tredone had recommended, okay? And it's called The Magic of Thinking Big. And I remember reading that book. Now, if you don't have the magic of thinking big, let me tell you something. That book, oh gosh. Woo, that book is good. That is, honey, that's a book that's gonna knock it out the park. It's gonna come all together. It's so good, okay? Oh, you guys want to see the book? Do you guys want to see the book? Where do you guys want to see the book? Let me know if you want to see the book. Matter of fact, let me get the book 1 second. Okay. I absolutely love sharing. All right. So this is the book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Now, this book has been through some things, okay? But when I tell you this book is good, okay? This book is so powerful, okay? It's so good. Now, let me tell you something. So I'm on a bus yesterday, okay? And my intuition, and one of the things in this book, The Magic of Thinking Big, let me tell you, books aren't just for you to read, okay? They are for you to experiment with, okay? Like in psycho-cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz talks about the book is as good as if you like you need to experiment with it, not just to read it for the sake to tell people, oh yeah, I read the book and stuff like that. It is for you to experiment. So yesterday when I was on a bus, one of the things that really, and it puts me in the mind of thinking big, the magic of thinking big, because in a book, The Magic of Thinking Big, the author, he says, observe people. Okay, so when I'm on a bus and train and stuff like that, first I'm reading, and then I put the book down and I just observe people. Okay, I make sure most of the time, majority of the times, I'm sitting in the front so I can just observe. All right, and it's so funny because I done heard whether it was Bob Proctor, whether it was the author of The Magic of Thinking Big, whether it was Zig Ziglar, whether it was Jim Rohn, or talk about the same exact thing. Pretty much when you get to know yourself, you will be able to know other people and why people tend to do the things that they do. Okay. And so I'm on a bus, right? And I'm reading and reading and reading. And I got to, like, sometimes when I'm on a bus, I just turn or sometimes I just turn a book, whatever page it lands on, I write. And so yesterday, the young lady who was on the bus, I didn't have a pen. And so what I was using was my nail, like to make a dent, like on a page. All right. And so it was a young lady who was there who had a book bag. And I asked her, my intuition said, ask her, she got a book bag, ask her, do she have a pen? And at first, is a whole bunch of people on the bus, okay? And at first, I was like, I get the download, my intuition telling me to do this, and so I just say, I wave at her because she had some headphones on, and then she finally looked, and I was like, "Oh, do you have a pen and stuff?" So she was like, she gave me a pencil, and people was looking because people don't really converse with each other. It's pretty much headphones on and stuff like that. And I used to be that way until I started getting a reading and listening to personal development and stuff like that. It sort of makes you come out your shell, out of a shell, okay, or make you come out of the box that you have placed yourself in, right? And so the young lady, she gives me this, and is like one of those pencils, with the eraser and stuff. And so I'm using it to mark up because I said I'm gonna do a video on this. And then I was giving her the pencil bag, and she was like, "No, it's okay." Very kind, very, very kind. And then afterwards, I still was reading. She seen me, I guess, like using a pencil and stuff. And then she was like, here go a highlighter and stuff like that. So grateful. I was really, really grateful because you know what? It was her stuff, and she didn't have to give it to me. I thanked her and stuff like that. And I said, "You sure?" And she was like, "Yeah." I'm thinking in my mind that these people thinking that I'm taking all the ladies' stuff, right? But she was really, really kind. And so this is the part that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And it's this, okay? And let me say this. I still have thoughts that come to my mind, right? And I remember one time somebody had said to me, I remember I told this person, someone that I love dearly, but I told this person, I said, because sometimes, what people would think. Now, I still do what I'm gonna do, okay? But that idea is still, before I do it, okay, that idea still comes to my mind, okay? Oh, Dina, you gonna do this and all this other stuff that monkey in the mind, that chatter, okay? And let me tell you something. If you are a person that you've been doing the work and stuff, or you just started doing the work on yourself, start realizing that there's so many illusions, start understanding that you are the creator of your reality. You get to create whatever it is you desire. You start realizing that thoughts become things, like once you apply emotions behind them. And once you start realizing all these things, it's a few things that I want you to understand and get. One is this, okay, that you're not going to have it all figured out. All right. To think so, you're going to set yourself up. You're not going to have it all figured out. That's one. Two, at times that old version of yourself will show up. It will come up at times. Okay. And three, some people feel like once some material or whatever it is like that, like you're never supposed to go through a challenge. You never, just foolishness. You're never supposed to go through a challenge. You're not supposed to have, so to speak, like a down day or so, whatever. They don't even understand that there's a law called law of rhythm. Okay. That everything is not going to be on an even scale. It's going to be times you're going to feel like $1 million. It's going to be times where you're going to feel like 500,000. It's going to be, that's just how life is. But, the people who don't study this stuff, they just feel like, oh, well, since you got this, you got everything. They look at you like, oh, you got everything figured out. Now, why you experience this or experiencing challenges, not realizing that challenges is a part of life. And in the words of Vernon Howard from the book The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power, one of the things he says is, he talked about depression, and he said, whenever you are going through depression, he says, awareness is key. and pretty much not to beat yourself up, but to be if you are aware of it, you can change it. You can fix it. You understand that if you are aware of it, you can change it. You do not have to stay there. You can change at any given time. When you are aware that you are probably at a lower vibration, you don't have to stay there. At times when I see that my vibe is a certain type of way, some of the things that I tend to do is, one, I may listen to music. Two, I may listen to some personal development. Or three, I may read a book, okay, to pick my energy and stuff like back up, or my vibe and stuff back up. So to the person that's out there, listen, stop beating yourself up. Okay, stop beating yourself up. Okay, if you knew better, you would do better. And before I would say, well, they know better. Okay, they know better, right? But to know and not to do is not, you don't know. Okay. Now, listen, this book right here, Psycho-Cybernetics. Now, listen, this is what it says. It was so good. Oh my goodness. You ever read a book and you on a trainer somewhere, or you out and you want to tell somebody about the book, but maybe they haven't read the book, or maybe they gonna look at you as like you crazy. Now, this is what it says. Functionally, a man is somewhat like a bicycle. I told him a bicycle maintains its poise and equilibrium only so long as it is going forward towards something. You have a good bicycle. Your trouble is you are trying to maintain your balance sitting still. When I read that was juicy right there. Okay, meaning that you have everything within you. Okay, everything in you in order for you to move in the direction that you need to move in. But you know what? You don't do it. You don't do it. It's like everything that you have, you just stand still. And then you shaky because you're not doing anything. And it's so funny because some people, they say life is worthless. Okay, they say, what's the use? They complain about their lives. They feel like God hasn't come save them yet, or oftentimes they blaming a government, they blaming their parents, they blaming a job, they blaming all these different things outside themselves, but never take the accountability and responsibility of their own lives. Constantly saying, it is because it is. It is because somebody outside me. That's why my life is the way it is. You don't understand that your life is the way it is because of you. One of the things my great mentor Bob Proctor said was, he said, if you don't like what you're getting from life, you better pay attention to what you're giving. Pay attention to what you're giving. Okay? If you don't like it, pay attention to what you're giving. Okay? Because, energy out, energy in. Energy out, energy in, energy out. Whatever. You get what I'm saying, okay? What you got going on within you, that's a reflection of what comes back to you. It's a reflection. So if you don't like it, okay, look at yourself and say, what is one of the things that I do? I say, what lesson I got from this? And I write it down. I write my lessons down. What lesson I got from whatever situation, whatever it is that I'm going through, whatever it is I'm growing through, I write it down. Okay. Because to be aware, awareness, I get so excited. Okay. But awareness can change your whole entire life once you are aware. Why you do what you do. Okay. Why you show up the way you show. Why do you say the things you say? Awareness. One of the things that I noticed about myself tonight, was this. Whenever I feel um whenever I feel like, if I feel some type of way, I don't want to say irritable, but what I would do, I would scroll. I would just scroll, right? And I caught myself tonight doing it. I caught myself on YouTube scrolling, and I watched probably like 3 videos, and I caught myself, and I said, "Oh no, 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 nope," because we said we was not going to do this. And then what I turned on was Reverend Ike and started listening to Reverend Ike. Okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. All right, before that, listen to this. Sense of direction. The advertising executive straightened himself out and regained his confidence within a short time. Once he saw clearly that for several years he had been motivated by strong personal goals, okay, that he wanted to obtain, including securing his present position. These goals, which were important to him, kept him on track. And that's one thing about goals. That's why, you guys, I don't just say things, but I live by what I say. So when I say to have goals, this book that I have, okay, is filled up with goals. It's filled up with goals, okay? In this book, filled up with goals. And I write my goals down every night, or if I don't do it at night, I make sure that it's done, the first thing in the morning, like after I meditate and stuff. So the goals, they definitely keep you on track. Okay, definitely will keep you on track. Now, let me finish saying, okay, these goals, which were important to him, kept him on track. However, once he got the promotion, he ceased to think in terms of what he wanted, but in terms of what others expected of him, or whether he was living up to other people's goals and standards. One of the things I remember reading in Brian Tracy's book, No Excuses, in that book, it's so funny because Brian Tracy, he says it was this guy who came to Brian Tracy's seminar. And Brian Tracy is saying, this material, it works, reading the books and attending the seminars and stuff like that. And it was a guy who was there who kept saying, "Won't you tell people the truth?" And Brian Tracy said, "You mean like what do you mean?" And a guy said, he kept on saying it, "Won't you tell people the truth?" And so Brian Tracy said again, like, what do you mean? And a guy said, "Well, this material, it only works for a certain time, right?" Like he was saying, like after a while, it don't work any longer. And Brian Tracy said, "Well, do explain." So the guy said, he was promoted, okay? He was working at his job. He was reading the books, investing in himself, going to the seminars for personal development, right? And he said, he climbed the ladder in his job very quick. And what wound up happening was when he got to the company had they moved him they transferred him to another location and stuff like that. He became, I don't know if it was like an executive or something, but then his income, it just stayed at a standstill. And basically the guy was saying like, it don't work, after a while. So Brian Tracy asked the guy, he said, "So after you became an executive or whatever, or after you moved up the ladder, what did you do that was different?" Okay, while you was getting the promotions and your income and salary was increasing, after that, and you got promoted, what did you do? And a guy said he had an aha moment. He said, "I stopped attending the seminars. I stopped reading the books." Okay. One of the things you have to understand is this. You've been programmed, for all of us, okay, for a majority of, most of our lives, okay? If you like in your 20s or 30s or 40s, and you just started getting into this material far as personal development, attending seminars, reading the books, listening to the personal development and stuff like that, and your life is going to change, but because you're doing something different, okay? And it'll change for the best as long as you are working on yourself. This even this morning, okay, it's so funny. Now I've been listening to Bob Proctor and stuff like that. Lately, I've been listening to him. This is pretty much all I listen to Bob Proctor. I do my videos, my shopping hauls, and then I do the inspiration videos in the morning, 15 videos in the morning, and then probably like 1 to 3 long form videos throughout the day, right? And I was listening to Bob Proctor and this morning, and it was a part of me that was like, now my children, they was about to go to school, and it was a part of me that was like, don't go out today. The old version of me was trying to show back up. Don't go out today. Just stay in a bed. Don't do nothing today. You worked hard enough. Just don't do nothing today. And as long as I'm listening to Bob Proctor, and instantly I made a decision. You know what? Nope, I'm getting dressed. I got a download for me to go to this one store, this one Dollar Tree that's a little further out. And, and I got dressed and I said, you know what? I'm going, right? Just trusted my intuition, just trusted the process. And I went. Okay. And that is the thing. When you listening to the personal development, you can almost see instantly, right? That chatter, that voice. Some people, they say they want to change their lives, but if rain occur, you could be saying, and this is funny because psycho-cybernetics, I remember Bob Proctor talked about this, about people who they have a self-image of them being overweight. And he says, they go on a diet, they cut back from eating and stuff like that. And he says, whatever you lose, it shall be found. Right. And he says the people pick the weight back up because they never change their self-image. They never change the way they see themselves. Subconsciously, they never change that. And so you working so hard to try to change something, but it starts off in a mental. You have to change the mental first, okay? In order for anything in your life to change. And so, when I was listening to that, and when you read the psycho-cybernetics, one of the things that you have to understand and get is this, okay? You can change your self-image. You can change it. You can change whatever is showing up in your life. But not until a few things occur. One, some people, they get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay. They get so fed up. They see that their way not working. So they surrender and they start trusting the process. Okay. That's one. And then two, what some people do, they just stay the same. They just they just blame year after year. And if they look at their life, okay, now if somebody would have told me, Dina, look at your life, you're responsible for whatever it is that's showing up in your life. I wouldn't have, believe that. But once I started paying attention, close attention and observing, and became aware and listening to the person, I do this because of this. I remember when I was younger, I want to say like my teenage years or even, my adolescence. I remember one of the things that I would do was, I have a sister that I'm close with. And I remember one of the things that I would do was I would sort of, pick on her. Like when other people was around, I would sort of, they say throw people under the bus, not, but I would pick on her because I felt insecure. So that's one of the things that I would do. And and I start realizing, with my youngest children, my son, like when my youngest son, when he would get like upset or when he would be shy or whatever, I would notice that he would do stuff to his younger sister, and I could relate to it because that's how I was when I was a kid. So when it's so true, when you get to know yourself, you know why other people do what they do. It's almost like you a psychic, but not, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why people do what they do because you used to do it, okay? Because you used to do it. Now, let me tell you something what this good old book saying, then I gotta go, okay? 1 second. Now, this is the part, all right? He was like the skipper of a ship who had relinquished his hold upon the wheel and hope that he would drift in the right direction. He was like a mountain climber who, as long as he looked upward to the peak he wished to scale, felt and acted courageously and boldly. But when he got to the top, he felt there was nowhere else to go. That's like when you get to the top of your goals, right? When you have accomplished what you said. Some people, it can be buying a brand new car, not a pre-owned, but a brand new car. Or some people can say they want to hit 1 million subs or whatever it is, whatever your goal is, right? It's like after you write that, where do you go from there? Let me tell you something about life. So life is like this, okay? It's either you creating or you disintegrating. After you hit one goal, it should always be another goal after that one. Okay. I have so many goal books where as though I accomplish my goals and then I start on another goal. And the goals, the things that we desire to have in our lives is not, so much like, oh, well, I want this thing because, that's really a side benefit, the things, the cars, the clothes, whatever it is, the money and stuff like that is really because you have to grow in order for you to get that thing. It's like you have to be on the frequency where that thing is. Okay. And so you should always be improving yourself always. And it's so funny because somebody said, the other day, they said improving, like in other words, like I don't have to improve. I'm perfectly fine. I don't have to grow. I'm perfectly fine. I'm enough. And I said, where did you get first? And people sort of tell on themselves because one, I didn't say you wasn't enough. Okay, that's one. And then two, everything in nature, okay, is either create or disintegrate. It's either you creating or you're dying. Okay, so you should always be looking at yourself in ways, and you are absolutely entitled to be wrong. Okay, I mean that's your life. Okay, you are entitled to be wrong, but that is not an opinion. That is an fact. If you don't create, you disintegrate. That's universal law. What you don't use, you lose. Okay, okay. So anywho, it says he regained control and is talking about the executive. Okay. He regained control when he set himself new goals and began to think in terms of what do I want out of this job? What do I want to achieve? Where do I want to go? Functionally, a man is somewhat like a bicycle. I told him a bicycle maintains its poise and equilibrium only so long as it is going forward towards something. Okay, you have a good bicycle. Your trouble is you are trying to maintain your balance sitting still with no place to go. It's no wonder you feel shaky. We are engineered as goal-seeking mechanisms. We are built that way. When we have no personal goal that we are interested in, that means something to us. We are to go around in circles, feel lost, and find life itself aimless and purposeless. We are built to conquer environments, solve problems, achieve goals, and we find no real satisfaction or happiness in life without obstacles to conquer and goals to achieve. People who say that life is not worthwhile are really saying that themselves have no personal goals that they are worthwhile. Okay, so you don't have goals that are worthwhile. Pretty much is saying, okay. Now, prescription, get yourself a goal worth working for. Better still, get yourself a project. Decide what you want out of a situation. Always have something. Always have something ahead of you to look forward to work for and hope for. Look forward, not backward. Develop what one of the automobile manufacturers calls the forward look. Okay. Stop looking big. That's the thing. Okay. Stop looking big. Okay. As long as you are constantly looking back, and it's funny because earlier I did a video about as long as you are looking back. Hey Tracy, peace to you, baby, peace to you, peace to you. As long as you are looking back and saying, you know, you failed, you took that test or whatever it is, or you applied to that job and you couldn't get it. Listen to that, okay? As long as you keep on looking back at things that you have done and keep reliving those things, okay? Remember, energy grows where energy goes. If you keep on thinking about things that you did and beating yourself up, living in the past, okay, you can't get that time back. That's one. And two, the past is the past. You did that already, okay? It don't make sense to keep reliving the past. But you're going to have to do something different. You can't keep on, or you can, if that's what you prefer, you know. If you prefer to keep on doing the same exact thing, this your life, you do what you know was pleasing to you. But if you feel like, you know what, me living in the past, it hasn't gotten me anywhere, you know, but the same exact results, then it means that it's time for you to do something different, okay? And start looking at the successes in this book, okay, Psycho-Cybernetics. One of the things Maxwell Maltz talks about, he says, look at the successes. And the guy who revised this book, Matt, he said he remember when he was in college, right? And how he wanted to be in Division One. He was on a wrestling team and he wanted to be on Division One, but came in second place. And that sort of followed him, you know, everywhere. He opened a business and it stayed stuck with him. Oh, you remember the time when you wanted to be in Division One and you got placed in second place, you know? And it wasn't until it was an older guy who came to Matt's gym, or I think it was a gym or something. And the older guy asked Matt, okay, he said, what books do you read? He said, have you ever read this book called Psycho-Cybernetics? Right. And this is one of the things that I know, like when people truly want to change their lives, they go get the books. They go get the books. And one of the things Matt said, he said when their older gentleman told him, the older guy was very successful. He said, you know, have you ever heard of Psycho-Cybernetics? Okay, Matt he didn't know what Psycho-Cybernetics was, you know, the book, what the books was. And he said after the guy told him that, he went in his car and went to the bookstore immediately and went and brought the book. But some people, you know, you could recommend books, they won't buy the book. They won't buy the book. They won't do this stuff. It's like, you know, they waiting for someone to do this stuff for them. And the part I don't understand is that's your life. That's your life. Okay? And in order for you to get better, you have to do this stuff. Listen, you will not be spoon-fed, okay, when it comes to changing your life. All right? And you can look over the years. Your life has pretty much been the same exact way. You know why? Because you're the same. You haven't changed. If you don't change, your life is going to stay the same, okay? You have to do something different. And so one of the things, you know, I noticed with myself, And when my mentor Bob Proctor, he recommend a book, I go get it. I go get it. Most of my books in my closet is from the recommendation of what Bob Proctor said. Okay. Let me see. Jim Rohn. Okay. Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor. And I'm trying to see. And Kevin Tredone. When they recommend the books, I go get the books. I don't, and I don't wait, because I know if I want my life to change, is up to me. I know if I want something different, that I have to do the work. You can make all excuses in the world. Oh, I don't have time. It's so funny because earlier I was doing a video and I talked about Aaron Doughty. Okay. And whenever I think about Aaron Doughty, or whenever I hear somebody say they just don't have time because they work, that's an excuse. That's an excuse. Because Aaron Doughty, okay, a phenomenal YouTuber. I don't know Aaron Doughty personally, but his videos on YouTube on here are amazing. Okay. And I remember I was listening to Aaron Doughty, and I remember he would tell his story about how he worked at Barney's, selling women's shoes. And he said when he worked 40 hours a week, and he sort of got this download for him to make videos on YouTube, right? Make videos every day. That's so he can shift, right, from seeing himself. And he recommended this book too, Psycho-Cybernetics. Okay. And one of the things he said was this. He said after he worked every night, he worked 8 hours and stuff like that. And he said when he got home, he made sure he made a video. Every night. Every night he made a video. Every night. And now he is a successful YouTuber. And he said his life changed, I think, like 6 months or so. But he is a successful YouTuber. Let me tell you, it's not so much that we say, oh, well, you don't have time. Okay. That's like the person that really wants to lose weight, right? They really want to lose weight. But soon as something occur, what they do, like say for instance, and this is the thing, because this is what tends to happen. You like doing real good, right? And then the person who gives analysis of this is Neil Knowledge. Okay, another great YouTuber. Neil Knowledge, he talks about this. He says, like, you have another version of yourself, right? The program version, so to speak, the part of you, like parallel realities, But he says, the person, just say, first of all, you can't outrun your self-image. Okay. You can't. I remember I would upload videos, but still had a self-image of, like I would be so focused on the numbers. Right. And then some days I didn't even want to look at the numbers. Okay. I didn't even want to look at my analytics. And then it got to a point where it's so, well, if you don't look at the analytics, how you know what's working and what's not working? Okay. And so I started looking at the analytics. And not only that, I paid for to be coached, okay, by somebody who has a larger platform than I. And so one of the things, so you can't outwork it, okay, your self-image. Only thing that's going to lead to frustration. It's like you trying to change the outside, but you haven't changed the subconscious mind. That's why Jim Rohn says, work harder on yourself than on that job or whatever. And so the person is like, they want to lose weight or whatever. And they go into the gym and everything like that. And they like, oh, this is easy, right? But then it comes a point where as though their old version of themselves, that chatter start kicking in. You worked out, 3 days or 5 days this week. Don't work out again. You tired. You did good, right? And then you start you start making settlements with yourself. Oh, I'm not gonna go tomorrow. Then the next day becomes another day. And then, oh, I'm not gonna go. I'ma just go. I'ma go one day, but not tomorrow, right? And you start, but you don't realize that's just the old version of you trying to trick you, trying to get you to stay where you once were, right? And if you didn't change your mindset, okay, guess what? Nothing is going to change. And so, and then it'll rain, and then you're like, oh no, it's raining outside. You give excuses like, oh, it's raining outside. I'm not gonna go today. It's raining. No, let me just stay in the house today. Right. But when you start being aware, paying attention to why you do the things that you do, right? You don't make settlements, okay? Because you know that you had told yourself you have a goal to accomplish, right? You want your life to change. You want better for yourself. And if you are procrastinating, is a few things. One, you don't know how to make decisions. That's why you procrastinate. And then two, because of fear, okay? Because of fear. You procrastinate. You keep putting it on hold because of fear. You're afraid to do it. Instead of looking at, you know what? I'm going to just do it. Okay. It was so funny. I needed to write a letter. Okay. And I noticed, and I started, really noticing, oh, okay. You trying to avoid writing a letter. So you're doing other stuff around the house. And then it just came, I just got fed. You know what? Write the letter. And I wrote the letter. Okay, I wrote the letter because now that's not something that's still in my mind that I have to do. I take it from my mind and I actually do it. Okay, now there's one less thing that I have to worry about. Okay, I remember hearing Kevin Trudeau, one of the things he said, successful people, they do it now. They do it now. They do not wait. They do not give excuses. They do it now. It's like they have an urgency to get it done. Okay. And you're going to have to get it done. Let me tell you something. You may not get it done, next year. I said this last year. Next year, it'll be pretty much the same exact way. This year, it'll be pretty much the same way as it was last year. Pretty much the same way as it was. If you're not studying, you're not doing anything, because let me tell you something. You have a program in your subconscious mind. You are on autopilot and you do the same thing practically every single day. Okay. Maybe sometimes it'll shift a little bit, but majority of the time you're doing the same exact thing. It's almost like you are a hamster on a wheel that just keep on running on a wheel, not realizing you can slow down, you can get off the wheel. You just keep running. Keep on running on the wheel like a dog chasing his tail. You keep doing the same thing. And it's so funny because on the other side of fear, okay, this is in Vernon Howard, I think, books, the Mystic Path to Cosmic Power. On the other side of fear is, so to speak, freedom. Okay, the thing that you are afraid of, that's where your power is. That's where your power is. So you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to do something different. And the choice is yours. As long as you say, oh, it's because of this thing. It's because of, no, it's because of you. It's because of you. You don't understand. You don't get that. It's because of you. Not until you take accountability and responsibility will your life change. Okay. And so if I could recommend anything, it would definitely be this book, The Psycho Cybernetics, or the Magic of Thinking Big. Okay. Two great books. Oh, two great books. The Magic of Thinking Big. Oh my goodness. I remember so many times reading this book. Man, oh. And every book that I recommend, it has processes and except for the Prosperity Bible. I don't think it has too many processes. Oh no, it do. It has processes in there as well. Okay, things that you can do so you can experiment with this stuff, not just read it and say, "Oh, I read the book." That's it. No, it has processes in there. Okay, because they are made for you to experiment with and experience, not just for you to say, "Oh, I read the book." All right. Like this says, okay, observe and experiment. Isn't it surprising to you that most people understand so little about why people act as they do, even though they are surrounded by people or their lives? Most people are not trained observers. That's a great that was the part that really got me. That's why I say when I'm on the bus, I just, I make sure I sit in the front majority of the time. Just so I can observe. I remember hearing people, oh my goodness, right? Just like when I first got into this, I remember hearing it was two people, Tiffany Alexander, who is an instructor, like she's a fitness instructor, and Shaman Dirk, okay. And I remember I had heard them two different occasions. They wasn't together, separate. And I remember they would say they would go to the park and do people watch. People watch, okay. I remember, growing up thinking that if a person looked at you too long, it was an issue, it was a problem, not realizing that was because low self-esteem. You think that the person is looking at you based upon what you see when you look at you. So if you feel you ugly, you think that person is looking at you and critiquing you, thinking, and a person ain't most of the time not even thinking it. I remember I was doing Uber, and I got out of the car. I was delivering food, and I got out of the car, and I never forgot. And it was this older gentleman who was walking walking past me, about to walk past me, and he was staring, and I just looked at him, and I said hello, and he said hello. He said, some people, when you look at them, they don't want you to look at them, like they have an issue. I know, because I used to be one of the some people. Okay, all right. But once I started changing my self-image, the way I view myself, okay, I don't care if you look at me or feel any type of way about me. Now, of course, the old ideas comes up and stuff like that, but I don't care. I'm still gonna do what I want to do. Is a great quote. Is if I want to be free, I have to be me. Not the me that my children think I should be. Not the me my husband or wife think I should be. But if I want to be free, I have to be me. If you want to be free, you have to be yourself. Okay. All right. Because let me tell you something. You've been a certain way for so long, acting, wanting to be what everybody expect of you. You leave this group and probably just agreeing with everybody. You probably don't even deep down don't even agree with them deep down, but you just agree with them just so you could be a part of the group. Just so they could like you. And it's so funny because once you leave, they talking about you. Once you leave, they talking about you. Okay. If you have to act fake in order for you to have friends, guess what? Honey, let me tell you, you need to be your real self so you can attract real friends. Okay? You can't attract real friends being fake. That's just not gonna work. And all this mess about opposites attract. I don't know nothing about opposites attract. Maybe some place else, but I know with this here laws of the universe, honey, like attracts like. I had a good friend who one time she said, opposites attract. I said, really? I never, You know, you hear people say that, but that's not true. That's not true. Opposites don't attract. She was saying, you know, the guy that she was with now, you know, opposites attract and stuff. Yeah. So, you know, those are two books that I highly recommend. If you want your life to change, honey, you're gonna have to do something different. If not, keep doing what you're doing. This is your life. You do what you please. If you don't like it, you know, the only person you have to blame is the person that reflects back to you in that mirror. And with that being said, I catch you guys later. Keep rocking out, believing in yourself. The two books, The Magic of Thinking Big, okay, and Psycho Cybernetics. This is another thing, okay? Don't feel like, oh, I read one page or I read the book, that's it. Because it don't work like that. I mean, you know how many times I reread Psycho Cybernetics? Okay. Not even all the book. But I read this one chapter so many times. Okay. So many times. So many times I read this one chapter and I'm still reading it. And I'm still reading it. Okay? Because it's not about, oh, well, I just read, oh, I read Psycho, I read this book, I read this book, I read that book. And then it don't reflect nothing. It doesn't reflect that you change. You got to reread the stuff. This isn't like school. This isn't like school, like you remember what the book says and, you know, all this stuff. No, you have to apply this information to your life. Scared, nervous, whatever, you still apply it to your life. That's how your life is going to change, by you applying it. Not by you saying, oh, well, I read the book. You know, it's so funny because some people say, well, I listened to that already. How many times? I listened to it one time. It didn't do nothing for me. All right, so let's get this straight. You've been programmed all your life when you was younger. Okay, you learned through the repetition. Okay, and the emotions and stuff that was attached. Right. You learned based upon it, hearing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Hearing your mother or your father say that money don't grow on trees, money is the root of all evil. You know, all these different sayings. You could never get by because of your skin color. You know, is the government. Now, you heard this all your life. And you mean to tell me you think you're going to read one book and that's just going to take away all those programs that you have buried in your subconscious mind? Are you Lulu? Or are you Lulu? Or are you delusional? Because that's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. This is an ongoing thing. This, you know what? Listen, let me just say this. If you're not willing to make this your lifestyle, you might as well not do it, because this is a lifestyle. I study every day. Every day I study. I'm obsessed with it. Every day I study. I start seeing how my income started going up. Every day I study. Every day. And you know why? One of the things that you will start seeing is the things that you used to allow to get to you, you don't allow them to get to you any longer. You don't stay in that state. You see it. Okay, it's not like you're oblivious to the whole thing, but you see it. But now you have a choice to accept it or reject it. You don't have to accept, you've been conditioned to accept everything that come in your life because you've been programmed. You've been programmed that way. Okay. It started off with school, you know, pay attention to what I'm saying. Do this, do that, you know, and you just accept everything they say. You accept your parents, everything they say, you accept it. That's how you was domesticated. Okay. When you was a child, everything that was said, you just accept it. And that now you are an adult, okay, and you still accepting stuff. When do you say, I'm not gonna accept? Do you know that the subconscious mind, it does not know fantasy from reality? So whatever somebody sends you in a mail, you know you don't have to accept it. You know you don't have to. I remember when I got these tickets, I rejected it. I said, I don't know who these for, these tickets, but they not talking about me. And when I went to court, the officer, okay, it was a sheriff, a lieutenant. He said, I never seen this lady. You hear what I'm saying? I don't think you know how powerful you are. Like you are so powerful. But you don't see that, you know? And some of you guys, you quote the Bible. Now, I don't know the Bible word for word, okay? And I'm not one of those who keep, some people you see, and they just throw scripture at you all the time. Every time you turn around, they throwing scripture at you. And, and they not even living by it. But that's neither here nor there, okay? I'm not judging nobody. But what I'm saying is I don't know the Bible word for word, okay? But some people, they speak about the Bible so much. But when it comes to things showing up, a challenge going on in your life, you panic. I'm a little, that just baffles me, because here you are quoting scripture and you send this and then you panicking. All right, family, I gotta go. I'm gonna talk to you guys, you good folks in the AM. Rock out. Get the books if your little heart desire, okay? Or not. Okay, the choice is yours. Like that song. Is it by Nas? The World Is Yours. Yeah, The World Is Yours by Nas. Because that's your life. You get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. It's your life. I'm not making no commission or anything off of these books by recommending them to you guys. Okay, I just share the things that I do. How I see my life it started changing. That's all I do. I just tell you guys, okay, because you do have the ability and the power to change your own life. You do have the ability to change your own life. You could change your own life. Nobody can ever change your life but you. You have the ability to change your life. Now, it's people that may come along the way and they may, say something or whatever that make you feel like, I'm going to change my life. But ultimately, it's you, because you made the decision to change your life. So nobody could change your life for you. You have to change your own life. Okay. All right. Until next time, let me finish listening to Reverend Ike. Peace.